Excellency Rude, for expressing your learning by doing process and also talking about Bangladesh's resilience in adopting climate change efforts. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we now have the honor to request Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina, the Honorable Prime Minister of the Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, to kindly deliver her speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Prime Minister of Netherlands, Mr. Mark Rutte, His Excellency Mr. Ban Ki-moon, President of GCA, Honorable Ministers, guests from different countries, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and very good afternoon. It's in Bangladesh. I am very pleased to attend the virtual inauguration of Global Center on Adaptation GCA Bangladesh Regional Office amid the COVID-19 pandemic. At the outset, I would like to thank His Excellency Mr. Ban Ki-moon, the President of the Global Center on Adaptation, for his cooperation in establishing the GCA Bangladesh Regional Office. I believe this is a historic moment for combating climate change in South Asia through adaptation. I recall our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who first introduced massive afforestation program and construction of cyclone shelters about 45 years ago. South Asia is the most vulnerable region to climate-induced natural disasters like cyclone, flood, tidal surge, drought, glacial lake outburst flood, landslides, avalanches, etc. Even a 1.5 degree Celsius rise of temperature will have severe consequences for Bangladesh and the region. We also must not forget that vulnerability of the children, women, elderly people, and people with special needs against disasters. Bangladesh remains committed to implementing the Paris Agreement and adopting all the measures to prevent rise of temperature from the emission of greenhouse gases and other environmental degradations. My government has undertaken various mitigation and adaptation programs under Bangladesh Climate Change Strategy and Action Plan formulated in 2009 to offset climate change impacts. We have established Bangladesh Climate Change Trust Fund in 2009 and so far allocated $430 million from our own resources to implement the action plan. But later on, we have received some support from different countries and organizations. I thank all of them. The government has also been spending about 1% of our GDP equivalent to $2 billion per year since 2010 for adaptation purposes. The government has formulated a 100-year plan called Bangladesh Delta Plan 2100 as a long-term plan to face the challenges of climate change and natural disasters. We build up our country a safe place for our future generation. And besides that, we have also, through research, now we are going for crops which will be salinity resistance crops, drought resistance crops, and water submerged resistance crops. Through research, we have achieved a lot, but we are doing our research so that our people, at least they should be safe for their food security. And it is not only for Bangladesh we also want to share our experience with all our neighboring country and other country too. But our research, we are very successful. Distinguished guests, in the past decade alone, nearly 700 million people, half of the region's population, have been affected by climate-related disasters. Before people can recover from one disaster caused by natural hazards, another one strikes, reversing any progress made. To end this cyclone, South Asia needs to build greater resilience. It is heartening to note that the GCA Bangladesh office will facilitate, support and develop on-the-ground action in South Asia to enhance adaptation and climate resilience. I hope this regional office will share best adaptation practices of Bangladesh as well as other countries and exchange practices within the region. It will serve as a center of excellence and a solution broker for adaptation measures in the region. It is our expectation that GCA Dhaka office would also support us during the chairmanship of Bangladesh to Climate Vulnerable Forum, CBF, and Vulnerable 20, two climate-based important international bodies under the UNFCCC process during next 2 years. I would also like to urge GCA to explore the opportunity of supporting the Delta Coalition on a long-term basis. Distinguished guests, Bangladesh is a unique example of climate vulnerability and resilience. People here have time and again showed their resilience against natural or man-made disasters. Yet there remain a lot of things to be changed. I think other countries in the region also have similar experiences and some good practices on adaptive measures. I believe together we can safeguard and build a better future for all of us. Because of our geographical situation in Bangladesh and because it's a delta, we have to live with nature and natural disaster, but we have to adapt how to save our people's life and their habitation. And we are trying our best to do that. As the climate change is a global affair, I would like to call upon the countries to enhance their nationally determined contributions by December the 31st this year in tackling the manage as well as execute the 2015 Paris Agreement. The COVID-19 pandemic fallout calls for greater cooperation and collaboration among the nations. We should not leave each other, rather force unity to fight the current crisis or any such one in the future. I thank you all. Special thanks to former Secretary General and President of Global Center on Adaptation, His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, for his kind words, and also our Prime Minister Mark Rutte, always very supportive to Bangladesh, and special thanks to the Mr. Patrick B. Barkhuizen, Chief Executive Officer, Global Center on Adaptation, Rotterdam, Netherlands. And also I thank all the organizers, because of this, they organized very, nicely this program, and we will work together, we will fight together, we will achieve together. Thank you very much. With these few words, I declare the Global Center on Adaptation Bangladesh Regional Office open. Thank you all again. Khuda Hafiz, Jai Bangla, Jai Bangladesh. May Bangladesh live forever.
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh, for your thoughtful speech and for sharing of experiential knowledge for combating climate change in South Asia. Now, Honorable Prime Minister and His Excellency Mr. Ban Ki-moon are requested to kindly press a button to formally open the GCA Bangladesh.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this inaugural program. We gratefully thank you all for a kind presence. Dear audience, our next program is Press Briefing, hosted by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change of Bangladesh.